What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Headlocks and Hot Packs. Hope you all had a great week at work or school. And of course, it's the end of the week, so that means it's time for another Figure Friday. You can see the hole in our usual setup there with one of the items we'll be talking about today. And our background looks a little bit different, as you saw me picking up some things in our Sunday episode. I've started to shift things around a little bit. In an effort to make room for more stuff. Let's go ahead and pan down here, though. Today's episode of Figure Friday, you could say, is priceless because we're going to be looking at a couple of items of this man here. Here's our first one, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, one of the all-time greatest villains in, I would say, professional wrestling history, definitely in WWE history. And here's our first one. This is, of course, a pop vinyl made by Funko, number 41. And this is the black suit DiBiase. You can see he's got the $1 Million Championship belt draped over his shoulder there. The black and gold trim. And here's a look at the side with an image of the full figure. And here's the back. You can see the other, I don't know if you call these series or just checklist, but those are some of the other stars. I do have the Iron Sheik one. We'll look at that at some point. And I do have a version of that Bailey one. And then here's the other side, of course, like all the pops. $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. If you're new to the channel, pops is never something I intended on collecting, and I wouldn't even necessarily say I collect them, but after having a few given to me, I kind of wanted to fill out the shelf that you can see in our usual background there, with all pops. I think I must have been given like 4 or 5, so I figured might as well get a few more. But always loved the $1 Million Man. There's also a Chase edition, or a Chase version of this pop, which is the white suit $1 Million Man, which people probably will remember more from his days as one of the tag team champions with Irwin R. Shyster, IRS, known as Money Inc. I remember probably the most prominent time I remember him wearing the white suit would have been SummerSlam 1992 in Wembley Stadium. They took on the Legion of Doom. So that's our first $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase item. Here's our second one. I've talked about picking up a bunch of things from a new toy vendor at the indoor flea market here locally. And this is the, I guess, head of a toy that is called a Power Grip Squirt, which came out in 1990. So what you would do is this would sit on top of a handle of some sort that had a trigger, and this would fill up with water. As you can see, he's got a hole there between his teeth. He doesn't actually have the Michael Strahan teeth. That's intended to be there. And so this would fill up with water, and then you can see it just squeezes and would shoot the water out. No handle for this one, but a lot of times, unless you're finding them mint on card, they are without the handle. Here's a look at just all of it. It's essentially just Ted DiBiase's head. This one's got, you can see a little bit of paint loss here at the top, but I never ever see these out, especially not with, especially without with the handle. Those are really hard to find unless you're buying them mint on card. I think I missed out on getting one of them. Just because I was not aware. Well, it looks pretty funny when you just face it like that. Was not aware of this new toy vendor yet. He had a Jake Roberts Power Grip Squirt that was mint on card, but clearly someone else snagged it before I could get it. And the other ones that were made were also Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, and the Big Boss Man, along with Jake Roberts and DiBiase. So they're very cool. Here's a look at the bottom here. And you can very faintly see, let me see if I can get this to focus. Doesn't look like it's really going to focus too well, but there we go. So, 1990, Titan Sports, all rights reserved. I never had any of these when I was a kid, so this is pretty cool. And you can see here, this is kind of like I guess they had some sort of like a glue or something holding this onto the handle. But that's pretty cool. DiBiase Power Grip Squirt. Like I said, never owned any of those when I was a kid, and that's the now first one I have as an adult collector. So I'll be on the lookout for more of those. And since we're talking about the $1 Million Man, we do have a bonus item this week from the autograph wall. Let's see, back that up here, pan up. We got this Ted DiBiase autograph, and I have had this for a very long time. As you can see, obviously, it's just a picture in a frame, and the autograph comes on this little piece of paper here. So this is from a show. I don't remember the year, but I want to say I was only like 9 or 10 years old. I remember it quite well. The $1 Million Man was retired from in-ring competition at this time. However, he was a manager. I don't remember who he was managing. I believe it was when he had the $1 Million Corporation, if I'm not mistaken. It may have been King Kong Bundy. But locally here in southern Maine, the WWF used to put on more than just live events and house shows, and they used to actually tape TV there. And this was a TV taping. I believe it was for WWF Superstars, and there were a lot of matches. This was around the time people might remember Shawn Michaels used to have a talk show segment called The Heartbreak Hotel. The main event was Bret Hart defending the WWF title against his brother Owen in a lumberjack match. So this is probably, I want to say this was 1994, maybe 95, probably 94 though. But I had gotten a couple of autographs just on pieces of paper like this. So yeah, if it was 94, I would have been probably 9 years old at the time. So that's how long I've had that for. I'd like to come up with a better way to display that, but I don't know. I guess I'd have to really put some money into getting like some kind of a custom framing where this is kind of like separated from maybe a better picture. But it works for me, and it looks pretty cool on the autograph wall. And of course, the pictures from his Hall of Fame induction, which is really cool. I liked the green background in that picture, so that's what I went with. Very cool piece, in my opinion, anyway. Mostly because just because I've had it for that long. I don't know too many kids that are able to hang on to something like that and keep it in that good a shape. I do have two other autographs from that same show, which we will show off at some point in the future. But that's going to wrap things up for this edition of Figure Friday on Headlocks and Hot Packs. Go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. We'd really appreciate it. And if you have not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button as well. Would like to see that number keep climbing up. Of course, have some goals in mind that I'd like to hit, but need subscribers to do that. So hit that subscribe button, and we will see you in a couple of days on Sunday night for a new box opening.